Hello humans, I'm the Recruiting Maven and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be going over the services provided by EchoTalent.net from the perspective of a recruiter. So this isn't a traditional review. Now EchoTalent is an AI-driven job search platform and has various features that I'll be sharing with you, as well as letting you know of any potential issues I see with the platform, just so that you are well informed and hopefully it will help you in making a good decision for your job hunting needs. Further, I would recommend for you to conduct your own research to see if this platform is something that will fit your needs and budget. We're all in different stages of our job search and have varying budgetary constraints. With that said, for those of you who are experiencing anxiety during your job search, please know that your employment status has nothing to do with your self-worth or value. At the end of this video, I'll provide you with a resource for you to consider in helping you to overcome job search stress and anxiety. Lastly, porque mi primera lengua es español y no inglés, so because my first language is Spanish and not English, and we do not pronounce the letter H in Spanish, I did mispronounce EchoTalent to EcoTalent. Hey, if you speak more than one language, you'll know my pain. You can get past that, right? Anyway, I did reshoot the video several times, but honestly, I just gave up and went with a Spanglish version. With that said, let's get into it.
Let's start with a housekeeping item. The URL on this is echotalent.net and not .com. Make sure you're going to the correct site. Now they're touting that you're going to get hired faster with EchoTalent. It's an AI crafted resume, cover letters, intelligent job matching, and streamlined applications all in one platform. Now, always my recommendation is start with a free trial. All these platforms are not going to be a fit for everybody, so I just can't stress that enough. I've had sites literally that I've paid money for shut down, so there's that. All right, so why would you choose EchoTalent AI? Well, here are 6 reasons why. Now, I'm going to go out of sequence. I like sequence, but so for those of you who are like, let's go one by one, but what I'm going to go through first is intelligent job matching, AI tailored resumes, and resume insights, which are the main 3 pieces of the service that you want to buy into. The other 3, not so much. Okay, so if you are paying extra money or they're going to ask you to pay extra money for this, I would say leave it out. Now, the intelligent job matching, I will tell you that whatever their large language module that they're using for this is going to have a better performance on what they're touting as. They're going to find perfect jobs for your skills and experience, saving you hours of searching. Now, again, it goes back to that large language module. How good is it? Now, the AI tailored resumes. This is also the meat and potatoes, the reason why you're even buying into the service. And it's going to take that job description and compare it to your current resume, and then it's going to match it to or provide you with insights and suggestions as to how you can enhance and better improve your resume. Now, the insights, this is great because it's going to be that reiterative process that we have in AI prompting, and that's going to like how you're improving the tone and things like that. So this is great because you want to maintain a certain or the same tone that you have already used on your resume in this new section that you're adding, right? So this is where things tend to fall apart because recruiters know that you used AI, and there's nothing wrong with using AI. Like, use it, please use it. But when it sounds funky, it seems like, 1, are you really detail oriented, which is what you wrote on your resume? 2, how good is your communication skills? It just like that seems to be logical to me, but I see all kinds of interesting things on resumes and like, you used AI, but you didn't take the time to further refine it. And now that's a problem because then I have to question again your communication skills and are you detail oriented or not? Doesn't seem like it. So there's that. Now, application tracking. If you're paying extra money for that, I mean, you can use a CSV file to do that, but if it's included in the service, awesome. Follow-up reminders. 2 reasons. This is really important. One is that I use it to essentially nudge hiring managers to give me feedback on your candidacy. Will it get you the job offer? Absolutely not. Some people think that, oh my gosh, I'm just going to remind her and she's going to like have forgotten to make me an offer. Like, no, that never happens. I've never done that. I've never ever forgotten to make a job offer. Now, how you can leverage this is that now you have that recruiter's email. And in the future, if you're still interested in that company, now you can say, hey, I've applied to this position. It was great chatting with you when I applied a year ago, yada, 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 fill in the blanks, how you want to reach out to that recruiter based on your relationship that you've built previously, right? So this is great. Now, personalized cover letters, never use them, never read them, because everyone's using AI. It's like even further, won't use, won't read. So unless you're at a senior level position like a director or above, I'm never going to read this. I have too much to do. That cover letter is just too easily, swayed or manipulated by AI. All right. What users are saying, you can look through this. This is kind of nice. I would kind of want to see some negative reviews just because I'm very pragmatic and I want to know the truth. Are you posting negative reviews? But we're not going to dive into that. We don't have time. Now, the latest job added, why I'm showing you this is because it shows you the type of companies that they have for you to apply, which is important. Some of them, I've gone through this before, and some of them are pretty small, which is nice. I mean, some people don't want a big corporate job. They just want, small company. And so that's kind of nice. I'm sure they're scraping the internet and posting all these jobs on their site for you to be able to apply. So there's that. Indeed, by the way, does scraping as well. So they take all the jobs posted on every single site and they then in turn posted on Indeed.com. So there's that. All right, we're going to get into the job board, but we're going to hold that because we're going to go through a full tutorial on that. The Career Hub is just essentially, I'll click on it, but listen, we're not going to dive into this. This is just a repository of articles that you can go through on your own. AI resume examples. I love this because it gives you that ability to create not only a CV, but also a resume, just depending on where you are in the world. And they have a plethora of resume samples and CVs. If you've just graduated and you are now starting your career, this is a great way to create a resume or a CV. All right, enough said about that. Let's get into, I have to go back home, but then get into the job board. Okay, so here we are at the actual job board. Now I want to have you take a look at the menu on the left-hand side. And so we're going to start with the dashboard. Now you can either use your Google or your Gmail account or your LinkedIn account to sign into this service. For me, it doesn't work because I have business accounts, and so to me that's already kind of an issue. But anyway, let's start with an easy peasy type of job search. Okay, so we're going to look for software engineer. Now we're not going to be specific, Python, we're not going to get into that. But just so you can see how nice the UI interface is. Now it's going to give you on the left-hand side all the available jobs in that location. Of course, you can further refine the search, but I just kind of wanted you to see how easy this works. And I wanted to point out, just this is like my favorite thing. The original description, right? Which is kind of, it's not bad. Sometimes you will see this piece gets kind of wonky because it doesn't, at the extraction point, it just loses all its format. And you see how it has the plus instead of a bullet. But I love this overview because it's crisp and clear. Look, first thing I go to is required skills. Anything that says required, I'm going to jump into that area, read it, understand it, and then just move from there, because that's the most important part. Is this a fit? Is this not a fit? And this, the way it's displayed, it's just easy peasy. Like, you can't misunderstand this portion, right? So I just absolutely love this piece of the UI experience. Now, want to highlight to you this this amount here really of salary, because in California we are required by law to post the actual salary range. If you're not in the state of California, this may be an estimate, or you may see this blank. It's not because the recruiter forgot, but they're not required by law to disclose that information. So please make sure you know and understand this piece, right? So now, it's in Los Angeles, it's a full-time job posted 2 months ago. That's a red flag for me. 2 months ago, most likely they've hired somebody and they just kept it open while they're processing that candidate. And in case that candidate doesn't show up on the first day, this is why it's staying posted most of the time. Or on a rare occasion, the recruiter will leave it open and forget to close it because they didn't set the range for the date it should go off the online job posting. So that's what that means. Some people are like, oh, it's a fake job. It's like, no, things happen. There's a lot of times I've had people not show up, and they're really good jobs. It's not like it's an entry-level job that nobody wants. No, they just don't show up, period. Or they leave after a week, which is even worse. So I'm going to go back to everyone that applied and review them all over again, right? Share the job. If it's not for you and you know someone that could use a job and is looking for one, share it, pay it forward. All right, the apply now. Now, this is a little bit different. I'm not going to click on this button because this is a little bit different. A couple of weeks ago, it had various buttons here that you could do your resume and cover letter and all that. So I'm just going to assume that once you hit apply now, it's going to run you through prepping for the application. So reviewing your resume compared to this job and so on. And you're going to go through all those steps. We're not going to go in through this now because, it would be too long of a video. All right, so with that said, I want to further refine my search because that's going to help you. Something to note here, interim entry level in the FAQs, they didn't mention these. They were toting that this platform was more for mid to senior level. This is new, so perhaps they just forgot to update the FAQs on their homepage, so please keep that in mind. If anyone has any experience, please let us know. Obviously, this is an option, so they're getting on board with that. But again, it wasn't on their FAQs. All right, so we're going to use mid-level. And for me, mid-level is more of 5 to 10 years. So we're going to use 7 and a minimum salary as a software engineer of $130,000. Now, company, I'm not going to put company in this section because I want to cast a wider net and be able to capture as many job postings as I can. And then I'm going to go back and just target a company if that's something that I want to do, right? So everyone's different from that perspective. So there you have it. Very easy to take a look at, again, just that job description. I absolutely love it. I know I'm geeking out, but oh my gosh. If everything was this easy to read and, just, I don't know, it would make my life easier. Let's take a look just for funsies. Yeah, see, this isn't as much fun, right? I mean, you can agree with me on that. It's like, oh, there's just so much. I don't want to read all these bullets and sentences. It's like, like, look at this. This is beautiful. All right, enough said. I'm going to stop geeking out. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out to you is, yes, for those of you who love remote, want to stay remote, there are remote options for you to search. So keep that in mind. And there seems to be a lot, but again, they're most likely scraping all the various online job sites. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's get on to the menu here. Now you can create a new resume or you can upload your resume. I don't think I need to show you how to upload a resume, do I? Create a cover letter. You can have one on standby. I actually have one that is on standby. I actually have multiple versions. I have a very long version, and then I have one that's medium, and then one that's very short. It's almost kind of like an elevator pitch, if you will. Your application tracking is on here, and then your pricing plans. We're going to click on that next. Here we are at the pricing plans. Now, this is your free trial. One tailored resume, one cover. Basically, it's just one application. But it'll give you sort of that flavor as to how the site is going to run. If you're still apprehensive, my recommendation then would be $18 a month. Just give it a try and see how it works. You can cancel, by the way. It was included in the FAQ. So, take a look at that for further details. And then let's take a look at this because this is where I'm going to talk to you a little bit about comparable sites. Now, for me, everyone uses LinkedIn, right? Most people just kind of default to LinkedIn. And that's great, but they're also at $50 right now. And yes, they do have some AI components to it, right? But I think that EchoTalent AI does a lot more than LinkedIn. So keep that in mind. I think you get more bang for your buck at the same price. Now, your pricing is going to be based on your budget, right? I mean, I can't tell you to buy one or the other. I can't recommend one or the other because, again, your budget is going to drive how you're going to use this, if at all, right? So one size does not fit all. Not all of these platforms are going to work for you guys. So this particular plan comes with 300 credits, AI tailored resumes, cover letters, application tracking, which is included, yay. All templates, yay, you don't have to pay extra for that either. AI resume suggestions, job recommendations, resume optimization insights, follow-up reminders, and priority support. And that's great. I think this is a better bang for your buck than LinkedIn's offering at $50, okay? So that's my comparison because, again, everyone's on LinkedIn. So if you absolutely need a job, I would say you may consider the Pro because, you need a job yesterday kind of an approach, right? As opposed to, well, I'm kind of meandering. I may want a job. I'm already in a job. I don't need a job right away. So maybe 18 a month or $25 a month is a better plan for you. Again, I don't know what your budget is, so keep that in mind when making that decision. And don't take the risk if you can't afford it, but at the same time, can you not afford not to have a job? So again, that is up to you. So some of the reviews or satisfied users are giving this 69% success rate, which isn't bad actually. That's like a C. I would want a B, which is more that 80%, but I think going back to our conversation about the large language modules that is running in the undercarriage to a lot of these AI job search platforms, they're going to improve over time. So I would expect this rating is going to go higher. The average user is giving this a 4.2 out of 5 stars, which is pretty good. And then there's 450,000 plus resumes created on this platform, which validates, there's a lot of people that are using this. It is international, by the way, so clearly you can create a CV versus a resume. So a lot of outside US kind of users. And apparently they have had 176,774 satisfied users, which is pretty good. I mean, I think that's a good number. So here's some FAQs, your money back guarantee. I'll just you can take a look at that a little bit later, but I wanted to pop that down and see how that is. It's nice that you can get your money back, so that's a nice piece. It shows that they feel confident in their service, okay? And you should always be looking for that. Are you going to be able to get your money and cancel easily in any of these platforms, right? All right. And then I've truncated this window because they have pop-ups, and so I can't scroll any further down. But you can create your account. That's where you see this blue little thing, okay? So there's that. My recommendation is, again, look at your budget, look at your priorities right now. Do you need a job yesterday or not? It's going to be up to you to take that risk, okay? I would say take a look at all the various AI job platforms before you make your decision. So use all of the free trials on various platforms and then make your determination, right? So especially if you're watching your pennies. Now, I have a lot of AI job platform reviews, so you may want to just take a quick look at it to help you get into that mood of where do I spend my money on, and then make your decision, okay?
I do hope that you found this information helpful. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel as it really helps my channel to grow. Lastly, I want to address a very important topic, which is the emotional side of a job loss. For those of you who are being challenged emotionally, I've recently published a book titled The Job Hunting Journal. It was created specifically to help you cope after a layoff or during a career transition. I developed this methodology as I have been a contractor for well over 6 years now, and I'm always coming and going from one contract to another. For me, it helped me to cope with my anxiety and brought a sense of normalcy as well as accomplishment. This process will assist you in regaining a sense of stability that is often shaking when you face a job loss. It would also help you rediscover a positive, forward-moving outlook. I'll include the link to the book in the description box below. Thanks again for your continued support of my channel, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care and have a lovely rest of your day.